What's up, YouTube? Cheese here, and as you guys probably already know, the new season North Star is coming out soon, and I can finally tell you guys about it. So, how I want to break down this video is, first I'm going to start off with the bad things coming this season, or at least what I consider the bad things, and then we'll end on a good note with all the positives. So, first things first, bad things. Casual reworks. Favela is the new map we're getting this season. New map, reworked map. It is a casual rework. And I completely understand that there is a very large casual community. I am not really a part of that. I don't really enjoy playing casual. For me, it's either it's ranked or nothing, you know, kind of thing. So unfortunately, I just think it's kind of a waste of time to put all this effort into reworking a map just to have it be played in casual only. You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to be putting in the effort to rework a map in the first place, why don't we make it able to be played in both casual and competitive or ranked? You know what I mean? Just kind of seems like we're wasting time and resources on a casual map that, you know, people are playing for fun anyways. And a lot of people like playing the old maps that are, you know, kind of nostalgic. And then they change it all up. It is a nice rework. I like what they did with the I like what they did with the map. It makes it more enjoyable, but at the end of the day, I'm never going to play it. So, it doesn't really pertain to me too much. I hope if you guys are casual players, I hope you enjoy the map. I don't mean to hate on it or anything. I just wish that, you know, it was also a competitive map. Obviously, I have no idea what kind of work that would take to make it a competitive map, make it ranked ready. I'm sure it takes way more work than just preparing it for casual, but still, it would be nice to have a new map in the ranked pool. Now that all the bad stuff is out of the way, let's get on to the good. So, as I just told you guys, the new season is North Star with the operator Thunderbird. Her loadout is Spear 308, you know, Finka's assault rifle, the Spaz 15, Cavi's shotgun, the Bearing 9, you know, Echo and Habana's secondary, and then the Q929, which is Legion pistol secondary. And then she also has impacts in the C4. To be honest, when I first seen her loadout, I thought she was going to be an attacker just because of the spear. I'm not a huge fan of the spear. It's an okay gun. I don't really like how it sounds. I don't really like how it feels. I think part of the reason I don't really like the gun is because it belongs to Finka, and Finka is one of my least favorite operators in the game, so I never really use it. I don't think it's a bad gun. Ever since it got its buff, I actually think it's a pretty decent gun. And on defense, having an assault rifle is a pretty big advantage. If you guys haven't noticed, a lot of the operators, especially defensive operators, they've been trending towards giving them better weaponry, or at least like the same kind of weapons as the attackers have. Wamai has the AUG, same as IQ. Aruni has Dokubi's DMR. They're kind of going on this trend where, yes, they're recycling weapons, and I would really like to always have brand new weapons in the game, just, you know, for purely content-based, you know, just it's more content, right? So I'm not the biggest fan of recycled weapons, but it is kind of cool to have attacker-sided weapons on defense and vice versa. Kind of mixes things up a little bit, and I find it interesting. It just changes things, you know, a little bit, because normally defense has subpar guns when compared to attackers, and they're kind of blurring the lines in between that, and I'm interested to see how it changes the meta of Siege. Next up, we have what you guys probably are most interested in, Thunderbird's ability. So she is a healer. When I first seen her ability, I thought it was very similar to, if you guys have ever played Halo 3, a regenerator. It's that little green thing that you throw out. I'll probably put in a video so you guys can kind of understand what the hell I'm talking about. It's a little green thing you throw out and it regens your health. This doesn't quite work the same way, but it is similar in the fact that if you get into a certain distance of it, it does give you health. It actually shoots a little health ball at you, which I guess splatters or gets absorbed into your skin. I don't know. You get health from it. It's kind of like Doc. You walk past this little pitching machine. It shoots a ball of health at you, and if you're down health, you get more. If you're 100 HP, it adds on a little bit extra. So The one thing that I am kind of interested in her ability is the juggling fact of it. There was a Pro League game this season where a pro team, I can't remember, I tried to find the VOD for it, I couldn't find it. But anyways, a pro team had a smoke playing on top of yellow stairs on consulate. The doc stood in the doorway and docked the smoke through the grenades that were coming through the window to kill him. So he actually survived, I think it was like 2 grenades just off of Doc stemming him. And that's the first thing I thought of when I seen her ability is this going to be juggable? Jugularable. Can you juggle it? Is the first thing I thought of. I tested it out a little bit. I was by myself though, so I couldn't really get the full grasp of how it would work. I think it has potential. I'm definitely interested to try it out in the TS. We'll kind of dive into it more and see if you actually can juggle it or not. She is a 3-speed 1 armor, so for those of you who like to roam, maybe you could kind of pocket one of these machines and, you know, keep it with you, or put it in a safe place where you can come back to on your roam and always gain back health. I think that this operator is going to be more impactful and more useful on console versus PC, just for the simple fact that on console there are more body shots than there are on PC. A lot of times on PC, you know, you get into a gunfight that split second and it's done, right? You're dead. Or the enemy's dead. One of the two. Whereas on console, you know, things can kind of go back and forth. It seems like gunfights last a little bit longer there. Not always, not necessarily all the time, but more so than PC. And because of that, I think that Thunderbird is going to be a more useful operator on console versus PC. Now, that's really about it for new content, unfortunately. One of the things I was thinking about, you know, going over all the new stuff, all the new stuff for this season, and then looking at all the changes they're making, the season seems more like Operation Quality of Life than North Star, in my opinion. I'm excited for the season. I really am. You know, I love this game. I'm always going to be excited for every new season, even if it's not nearly as much content as we used to get. I'm still going to be, you know, interested and excited to play the game. So, going forward, there are quite a few quality of life changes. Some of them are actually very impactful to ranked in the meta and just the way things are going. And most of them, if not all of them, I think are good changes. There's a couple that, you know, might upset people, but we're going to have to just play the season out and see how things go, and then we'll know for sure. So, first things, and probably one of the biggest ones, and probably the ones that is going to be upsetting to some of you. Bullet holes. You know, those little bullet holes that you guys can kill people through? Those are gone. Gone. No more. Nothing. Can no longer shoot a bullet through a wall and have a line of sight. I tried multiple times to figure out a way to do this, and it cannot be done. Unless, you know, somebody can, maybe someone out there who's smarter than me, which there are many, most of you probably are. I couldn't find a way to do this. If you guys can, you know, let me know. I'd appreciate it. I remember the first time I seen a bullet hole kill be used was in a Pro League match. It was on consulate again, evidently. And top floor, it was, I think, a Doc ACOG laying down in connector. He had bullet holes on the right side of the reinforced middle wall of connector, looking towards the console double windows. And the guy in the upside down rappel, he killed through the bullet holes. And I just thought it was the most amazing thing I had ever seen. Obviously, now that I've, you know, spent some time playing with bullet holes, I realize that it takes minimal skill, minimal effort. It's really not a positive thing in the game. I know a lot of us have gotten used to it, have kind of, you know, incorporated it into our own gameplay. We get free picks off it all the time. And I know for some of you guys, this is going to be upsetting and frustrating. But trust me, I really do strongly believe that this is a good change. Nobody likes dying to something that they can't see. And to be honest, trying to get new players into the game, in terms of having to drone out, like they already have to learn the map and drone out all the corners and all that crap. Now you also expect them to drone out bullet holes. It's a little much. So I think at the end of the day, this will be a good change for the game. Now, speaking of gone, like the secondary I never used this season, dead bodies. So you know how in like a 1v4 or at the end of a round, you would sometimes lay down in a dead body. I know I did this quite often, just for content. Lay down in a dead body, pretend, you know, you're part of the mesh of pile of corpses rotting on the ground. You can no longer do that because dead bodies don't exist. So when a player does perish, their body degenerates and it just leaves like a little logo, like a little leaves a little hologram of the operator's logo. So that way you still know who you killed, even though the body is gone, which is nice. It is a cool change. I think it's beneficial to the game in the long run. I am going to miss, you know, laying down and hiding in dead bodies. I also think it makes the game a little less realistic, but at this point, Siege has been extremely unrealistic for a long time. From day one, basically. And I'm all right with that. It's still fun. That's not the point. I don't play video games for them to be super realistic. I play them because I enjoy them. Next up, we have barrel attachments. So, flash hider, muzzle brake, compensator, suppressor, long barrel. Hope I got them all. They have been slightly changed to more accurately do what they're supposed to do. I don't actually have patch notes. I'm going off of what I heard from the presentation that they showed us. From what I remembered, they said that compensator would be decreasing the horizontal recoil. Flash hider would be decreasing vertical. Muzzle brake, you know, would still be that single shot. And, you know, suppressor is suppressor. You can't. And then long barrel increases damage. So from what I got out of that, I tried testing these out in custom games a little bit, as you guys can see. And for me, the biggest difference I noticed was on the bearing 9. So the bearing 9 almost feels usable again. In terms of, you know, you don't have to be a foot away because the recoil is so insane that you can't hit a shot. You can actually, you know, control the recoil to a medium to medium-ish long distance. It's still not a great weapon for long distance, but I do think it has potential to be a good gun again. I never stopped using it in the first place. I've always liked the bearing 9. It was a little bit ridiculous with the recoil for a while there. And now with these different barrels and these different barrel attachments, you guys are honestly, you just need to go back in and test out which barrels you guys prefer. Because I do think that there is some different potential here for different barrels to be used on different guns. And you're never going to know unless you try it. So make sure you guys go in, you know, what operators you like playing. Test out a different barrel on it, man. Give it a shot. See what happens. Keep an open mind. Now, Mira, Maestro. Some of the top 2 anchors probably in a Siege, you know, lineup. Comp team lineup. They're both 3 armors. They're fatties. They sit on sight. But they are extremely impactful to every single round. Simply because of their ability. And, you know, the Alda. But we're not getting into that. Nothing has changed with the Alda, as far as I know. Mira and Maestro. So both of them have bulletproof, both of them have a bulletproof glass on their ability. So, you know, you can shoot it. It doesn't break it. But now, if you get up close to a Mira or a Maestro and you melee it, it will completely cover the glass in like a cracked, it shatters the glass, cracks it. You can no longer see through that Mira or through that Maestro cam. This is huge. It's honestly a huge change. It's going to completely change how people use their Maestro cams and how people use their Miras. You're going to have to set up your objective in a way to add more protection to those resources. So, you know, you can still try and hide a Maestro cam to get rid of like Habana pellets or a thermite on top of the hatch in Clubhouse, but chances are it's going to be found because it's this huge, giant evil eye. And once it gets meleeed, you can no longer see through it. I did kind of find a little bit of workaround, although if you spam, if you're on console, you know it would be your left trigger. So to open and close the bulletproof glass, if you spam it just a little bit, so it only opens up a smidge, you can get, you know, some intel through that. And hopefully, you know, it closes in time that they can't shoot it. So you can get some intel. You can still kind of see for a little bit. It's obviously it's not as good. It's still a nerf. But if you want your Meister Cam to be somewhat useful at all after it's been meleeed, this is your best bet. And speaking of cameras, bulletproofs can now move in a 360. So normally, you set up a bulletproof and it just looks straight. Like my camera looking at me, it's just here. But now, it can tilt left, right, up, and down. It also has the same bulletproof glass on there. Therefore, if it gets meleeed, it shatters and you can no longer see through it. So, same sort of thing. You shoot in the side, bulletproof camera's gone. Now, moving on. Health. Now, I know they talked about this. What was it? Was it last season? No, they talked about this. I know they showed this health thing before. I just can't remember when. But health is actually going to demonstrate the real number of HP that your operator has. So, when we're talking about an operator being a 1 armor, a 2 armor, a 3 armor, on your screen it always shows 100 HP no matter what. But in the game, there's actually a different multiplier for each operator. And when you apply rook armor, that also changes the multiplier. But now, instead of, you know, hiding that from us and making it super complicated, they're just going to show us the actual number of HP we have. I think this is an awesome change. I don't know why it hasn't always been like this. I feel like it just makes sense to show the real number of HP instead of confusing it all with this, just making it all 100. And then, you know, you say that they're a 1 armor, 2 armor, 3 armor, but their health doesn't actually change. Like, then you put on rook armor, but what does that rook armor really do? Because it didn't change my health any, it's still 100. Now, you can see. You can actually see what's happening. You can actually see the HP. I think it's a fantastic change. Something that should have been done a long time ago, but I'm happy it's done now. Also, Beluzi. Beluzi is getting a pretty massive nerf. So I know they've been hitting her hard. Took the angle grip off of her main weapon. They made the radius of her actual Banshee smaller. They've been trying to find a way to nerf Beluzi. She's still a great operator right now, even though she kind of has a subpar weapon with only one-time sights and no angle grip. She's still a good operator just because of her ability. The Banshee is absolutely insane. You know, you have to use utility in order to get rid of it if it's placed right. It gives you a sound. It gives you sound call for information while also still slowing down the operator, and you get 3 of them. It's a great ability. You guys probably already know this by now. Thankfully, it is getting a nerf, which is super nice. Now, whenever you come in close, like whenever you get close enough to the Banshee where it starts to go off, where it starts to give you that effect of slowing you down and making that whoop, 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 whoop sound, the Banshee itself will actually start to blossom and open up like a flower, and then you can shoot it. Once the center opens up, you can shoot the center of it, and it will be gone. So I don't know how good Melusi is going to be this coming season. This nerf might put her in the dirt, to be honest. We'll just have to see how the meta plays out. If I had to bet on it, though, I would say she's going to be garbage this season. Just my own 2 cents, obviously. You know, I'm just a rank star. I don't really know what I'm talking about. Not like I've been playing the game for 6 years or anything. But, anyways, my own 2 cents. Take it as you will. There is also a display setting. I tried changing display setting. It's supposed to change how debris looks on your screen. I tried messing around with it in a custom game. I didn't really notice much of a difference. Maybe I was just being dumb or doing something wrong. I don't know. You guys can play around with it. Anyways, the very last thing. Now, when we started playing the build, so we started playing the build early, you know, the early access, which is basically just the test server. We started playing that early, and they told us that there wasn't going to be droning after death in this build. However, after we started playing, we noticed that, hey, after we died, we could actually still move our drone around. Nice job.
Hey, let's go.
Nice droning.
Dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome, man.
That droning is sick.
Wow.
Like if you're ash rushing, just throw out both your drones, ash rush, try and get a pick, die, and then drone in your teammates. Like
I had 2 drones there, and I'm almost certain that I only threw out. I didn't drone a single time after prep phase.
And on top of that, if you die with a drone it. If you die with a drone in your pocket, you'll actually have that drone spawn somewhere on the map. I'm not sure if the spawn is directly related to what spawn you chose when you started the round. I forgot to keep track of that, but either way, you do drop a drone when you die. It doesn't drop where you dead. It doesn't drop where you died, but it does spawn in on the map, and you can drive it and move it around. If your first drone is still up somewhere on the map, you can also drive that one and move it around. It's kind of crazy. It doesn't seem like it would be, you know, that big of a deal at first, but when your teammate's in, like, say, a 1v2 and everybody else is dead, that's potentially four drones if you all just saved one drone, right? If you all just saved one, that's 4 drones that can now drone this one person around the entire map. If you guys all saved your drones, you could potentially have 8 drones in total to drone your teammate who is in a 1v2 to get those frags or to get the plant down or to just win the round, which is kind of crazy. You can see in these clips here a little bit. We played around with it for a while. A big change. I'm not sure if it's well balanced yet or not, to be honest with you. Gonna have to play it on the test server, see how it feels, you know, over more ranked games. But we'll see. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept. You got to look at it from the point of view of Ubisoft here, right? So Siege has a ton of downtime for a video game. And right now, with, you know, the way our society is and just how people are, we don't like downtime, right? People are always doing something. If you're not on your phone, you know, you're watching TV. If you're not on your TV, you're playing video games. If you're not playing video games, you're doing something. You're always doing something. There's always some sort of stimulus. You know, take that as you will, as a good thing or a bad thing. I don't really know. We're not diving into that right now. But point of it is, people become accustomed to having these inputs all the time. And when you play a game like Siege where, you know, say you die in the first 10 seconds, well, now you got 3 minutes, basically, to sit around and do nothing. Yeah, you can, you know, sit on a camera that you can't move. You can tilt it left to right. Can you stack these 3? That's really about it. It's black and white. It's boring.
What are they called? I keep forgetting what they're called.
Oh my god.
And it just doesn't help the game compete with, you know, current shooters. Like, for example, Warzone.
That is
When you die in Warzone, your teammates can buy you back in. You also, the first time you die, you get a gulag, so you get to fight. You get to do something. There's not a lot of downtime. You're not just stuck spectating, watching, you know, feeling like you're useless. You're not stuck in that sort of mode. So I understand why Ubisoft is looking into this and making this change. I'm not sure if it's going to be balanced yet or not. Right now, I'm leaning more towards not balanced, but who knows, man? We'll see. I'm going to give it some time and try and keep an open mind, see how it plays out. That's it. That is it. That is the season for North Star. Sorry. But I want to know what you guys think. Leave me a comment down below if I missed anything or if I said something wrong, if I was wrong about the barrels.
up the trash suit.
I could have been wrong about the barrels. I'm not really sure. To be completely honest with you guys, I'm not really sure. I kind of forgot a little bit. That's just what was in my head at the time. And I'm like 90% sure I'm right, but I could be wrong. Probably not what you want to hear from a content creator. I'm still going to dub this season Operation Quality of Life because it just feels like there's so many little changes compared to the actual amount of content that we're getting this season. which is good and bad. I'm happy about all these little changes. Not so happy about the lack of content. But at the end of the day, it's still Siege, and I love it. And that about wraps it up, guys. I appreciate you watching. If you stayed this long, man, thank you so much. I do really appreciate it. You guys watching the video longer helps me with the YouTube algorithm, helps me grow. You know, leaving a comment also helps. Hitting like, it all helps. So thank you guys for whatever you've done. I want to make sure to thank Ubi for inviting me to this play event. It's always enjoyable. It's always kind of a inspiring moment for me because I get to play with content creators that I've been looking up to for the past 6 years of my life. I get to play with them. I get to talk to them. I get to hear their thoughts. I get to be just in the general... I get to be in their life for, you know, 10 seconds or whatever. It's awesome. And I do really appreciate it. It's also amazing that I get to play the game that I love early and get to experience everything brand new before leaks and before test server and before all that, you know, kind of dulls it down. I actually get to experience it brand new, you know, with clear eyes. Anyways, by the time you guys watch this, Invitational will be over. It's actually, what time is it right now? It is 5 in the morning, Central Standard Time. Is invite started? Let's see. I don't think so. No. Invite has not started yet, but I am ready. I'm prepared. Invite has not started yet. It's 5 in the morning. I'm getting this video done. I'll be posting it later today. We'll have a new Siege champion for the year. I'm super excited to watch it. I'm going to watch every single minute of it. It's unfortunate that I didn't get to go this year. You know, I had the drip and everything. Look, dude. I got the hat. Shirt.
Shit, man.
Sweatpants.
Guess that's what we gotta do, Colonel.
I'm dripped out. Ready. The only thing I'm missing is Siege underwear, socks, and shoes.
Look.
Got my love eyes. It's Brazil all the way, man, and I'm excited to watch because they're all nuts. But that's it. I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed the Invitational. I hope it was awesome. I hope the reveal of the new season, the operator, was cool. By the time you guys watch this video, that'll all have happened. And talking about things crazy, I just keep going on. Anyways, I'm cutting it off. I love you. Stay cheesy. Mwah.
Hating on your brand, on the fam. Wanna change now, clothes getting old, need a name now, rain now, and we bang out. Block the flame, it's the auto-tune, age now, wake now.